Welcome to the tutorial on creating and managing users and groups inside Dokmee. There is no limit to the number of users you can have inside your Dokmee system. It is suggested that you separate groups based on department or by level of access to the system. There are two ways to get to the User and Group Management portal. From the home screen, click on the Manage Users button, or from the File Explorer, click on Manage in the toolbar and select Users and Groups. To manage groups, click on the Groups tab under the Manage section. This will take you to the list of all groups on the system. Here you will find the group name, group type, number of users in the group, description, and the date created. To create a new group, click the New Group button. Enter the group name and description. To add users to the group, click the plus button next to the username in the list. Adding the user to the group will automatically remove that user from the group they were already in. Click the Next button. On the Rights and Restrictions screen, all changes made to the group will automatically apply to all users in that group and will be inherited by new users created under the group. System rights are functions that apply to the entire Dokmee system regardless of the file cabinet. These rights are considered administrative functions and should only be given to managers or IT administrators. User administration gives access to the user and group management sections of the system to allow them to create and manage user accounts and access rights. Connection settings allow them to change which SQL Server database and repository in the system is pointing to. Services and logs allow access to view error logs and turning various services on in the system on and off. The last two options control whether they are able to create new file cabinets and delete existing file cabinets from the system. Access rights control which file cabinets and folders are able to be accessed and viewed. To give the group access to a file cabinet, check the box next to the file cabinet name. By default, all folders in the file cabinet will be viewable by the user upon granting access to the cabinet. You can only change folder access rights once you are editing existing groups and not when creating a new group. Function rights are the things that the user is allowed to do inside each file cabinet. Once you select a file cabinet in the Access Rights section, you will see a list of function rights to the right side. By default, users have no rights in the cabinet. You must choose which rights to give them. Select the checkbox next to the function in the list to apply it to the user for the selected file cabinet. Once complete with all rights and restrictions, click the Apply button to save changes. The new group creation is now complete. To edit the rights or information of an existing group, click the pencil button in the Group Information row. You can edit the group name and description. If you click the Rights and Restrictions breadcrumb, you can edit the rights for the group. Remember that once you edit the rights on a group, these rights will apply to all users in the group. To allow folder access rights to users in the group, click on the folder link that is displayed under the Access Rights next to the already selected file cabinet. To hide certain folders, deselect those folders in the browser. Once a folder is deselected, all subfolders will be hidden from the user as well. Once a folder is selected, all subfolders will be viewable unless you browse and deselect the individual subfolders. All selections made in this folder browser are immediately saved and cannot be canceled. Once complete, click the Close button to return to the rights and restrictions. To delete a group from the system in the Manage Group window, click the Trash Can button in the User Information row. You will be prompted for confirmation since the deletion will be permanent. You cannot delete a group if there are users assigned to the group. You must first reassign the users to a different group. If you have a lot of groups inside Dokmee, you can find the one you need by using the search bar. Select what you would need to filter by: all fields, group name, or description. The most common is to search by all fields. Type the value to look for and click on the search button. This list of groups will be filtered to show only those that match your criteria. To see the list of all groups, click on the Clear button. To manage users, click on the Users tab under the Manage section. This will take you to the list of all users on the system. Here you will find the username or login name, full name, whether they are active or inactive, the group each user is assigned to, and the email address. To create a new user, click the New User button. Enter the username. This is what they will log into the system with. Then enter the full name, email address, and select which group the user should be assigned to. Then click the Next button. On the Rights and Restrictions screen, some information will be pre-filled and pre-selected based on which group the user was added to. It is suggested that you edit these rights on the entire group versus individual users. If utilizing the group's functionality, then click the Apply button and the user creation is complete. To edit the rights or information of an existing user, click the pencil button near the User Information row. You can edit the username, full name, email address, and group. You will not be able to change the user's password. However, if the user cannot remember their password, you can click the Reset Password button. This will send the user a temporary password to the email address associated with the account. Once the user receives the email, they will need to log in with the temporary password. Then they will be prompted to change to a permanent password. This feature is not available when syncing with Active Directory. In this case, passwords are controlled in the Active Directory system and automatically pushed to Dokmee. If you click the Rights and Restrictions breadcrumb, you can edit the rights for the user. Remember that once you edit the rights on an individual user, these rights will override the group level rights. To delete a user account from the system, click the Trash Can button in the User Information row. You will be prompted for confirmation since the deletion will be permanent. When you delete a user from the system, the data associated with that user will still remain searchable in the audit log. If you have a lot of users inside Dokmee, you can find the one you need by using the search bar. Select what you would like to filter by: all fields, user, full name, group, or email. The most common is to search by all fields. Type the value to look for and click on the search button. This list of users will be filtered to show only those that match your criteria. To see the list of all users, click on the Clear button. By selecting the My Rights tab, you can see which file cabinets the currently logged in account has rights to. If you click on a file cabinet from the list, you will see the list of function rights come up. These are the things that you are allowed to do inside that specific cabinet. If there is nothing under the function rights, that cabinet is set to be a read-only cabinet, and you will only be able to search and view files.